You said you designed some of the synth patches?
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about that. The name is hilarious, Blofeld, but like...
Oh, that's from James Bond, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So sick.
Oh, I guess I'm not.
Yeah, Blofeld was one of the villains.
The guy with the
Philistine.
cat, right?
Yeah, it's Blofeld.
I only know Pussy Galore, right? That's the only...
Another awesome Bond reference.
Should have a synthesizer name that. But like... So, right, we're talking about this really cool new album, Unobtainium, Bear Skinner. I think probably the coolest thing to talk about is probably just like the overall concept behind it, right? I mean, like what would you call the concept behind this album?
The concept was formed when I put together this trio for Ryan Clackner, and basically just thinking about what I could write for him. And quickly the trio expanded into a quartet. So we added Trevor Lagrange. Originally the trio was just Nick Jost and Jason Nazary with Ryan. But once I started writing some music, I thought I needed a keyboardist, and Trevor is perfect for that. So focusing the sound, the original intended sound, around what I thought Ryan would really excel at. Yeah, and then of course it's my weird music on top of that. So
I mean, I actually wanted to ask you, particularly the personnel that you have on it. It's a really cool mix of just players, instrumentation, and personalities. I kind of just wanted to hear from you what you think each one of them brings to the table. Like you started talking a little bit about Ryan, you know what I mean? But like each one of the four, like what do you think each one adds to it?
Well, Ryan Clackner, obviously we've had him on the podcast, and he's just this hybrid of not really jazz, but knows his shit, and kind of metal, kind of country, just hardcore psychotic shit. Nick Jost, I forget who recommended him to us.
it was Travis.
It was Travis Reuter. I feel like he goes perfectly with Ryan's vibe because they're kindred spirits in a way, because Jost plays with Baroness, which is a metal, pretty hard band, but he's also like just ridiculous jazz musician, like trains.
Yeah, similar to Ryan, where they cross over metal with jazz fluently.
Yeah.
Seamlessly.
Right.
They feed each, just the shows and the sessions there, and everything we've heard, like, you know what I mean? That like those two in particular, they got like an awesome kind of like complimentary vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Nazary, I'll let you speak to him because he's just a monster.
Yeah, I met Jason probably in 2010 or 2011, maybe before, I don't remember. He was playing a lot with Travis Reuter at the time, and he plays with everybody, so it's not like that's the only reason I would have known about him, but just start to get friendly with him over the years and play with him random gigs, and he seemed like a great fit for this crossover, not jazz, but jazz session. Yeah. He hits real hard. He can play any weird meter shit, and just kind of fluent and everything. Yeah,
there's a lot of talent brought together. Kind of interesting mix, like a lot of complimentary, and then also kind of like a lot of unexpected kind of combination in a way. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
I think and when you see, right? I mean, we had that one show. We'll talk about that later. I wanted to anyway. I wanted to bring it up, but I mean, really cool live, and I'm sure there's probably gonna be more live shows, and I bet they're gonna be even better, with it being a quartet,
Well, speaking of the quartet, so Trevor is the last piece of the quartet, and we sort of, I started writing the music and realized it needed a fourth instrument.
Yeah.
I talked with Ryan about it, and he agreed. So Trevor just plays. Again, he's obviously not doing metal, but he does all sorts of styles.
He's a chameleon.
Yeah, he could fit into lots of situations, so I thought he was really good for this.
He fills up. I always said I like it's like a lame thing to say, but like I actually mean it though. I mean, you know, I love piano players that just generate a lot of sound. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
does that.
old school, and he does that in an awesome way, you know,
Tastefully,
and not in the way.
Yeah.
But like, I like that a lot. You know, I think that's awesome. How do you think that this group and this album both fit into the larger label? You know, what place do they occupy?
It's definitely my first creative music project where I'm producing it purely.
Right.
And that's sort of the direction we're going to go in with this label. I'm going to still be playing on some recordings, but the label can't just focus on my recordings. It's like my trumpet recordings. That's not what I want to do. So this was our first move in that direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, Clackner's our good friend, and he's someone we've played music with a lot over the years. So he was a natural first step, and he volunteered to come up and play the New Blue show, and not volunteered. I mean, we hired him, but, you know, like it was, he wanted to do it. He wanted to play double bill with Smirk. And
it's not a bunch of friends messing around. It's
not at all.
It's
I
a
wouldn't
legit
insult
thing.
him by asking him to drive up from Tennessee for $0.
Yeah, that's what makes it such a undertaking, you know, which is really cool to see it coming together.
Yeah. But yeah, the way it fits in the label is probably just expanding what I'm producing and writing for new ensembles that I'm creating and new instrumentation I've never written before.
I really like the name Bear Skinner.
So do we.
Yeah, it's just cool. It's badass. You know, like so many, like there's so much, everything sounds like, you know, name some jazz album and it's like some pussy weak shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, or just like some intellectual crap. And like, I just kind of like, it's just a name, you can name it anything, but immediately just gives me like the right kind of vibe that I want to.
It's the right kind of vibe, and
I know it's
there's
a vibe
story too with it.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask, like, what was the inspiration behind that? You know,
every time Ryan comes and hangs out here, or when we go to see him, we always take some long drive in the country.
Yeah, and
we saw a sign on someone's mailbox that said Bear Skinner.
So it really does. You showed me that picture. It actually really does come from that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're up in
Sussex
Montague
County.
somewhere.
Yeah.
The far,
far
corner
reaches of Sussex.
Yeah,
County.
Nowheresville, New Jersey, as far northwest as you can get. And some guy advertised his services as a bear skinner. So
what even is that?
Yeah, like it's so specific. It could have just said taxidermist.
Yeah, is that what it means? Or like...
It's a taxidermist, but for bears.
Just for bears. He's a specialist. So yeah, we saw that when we were driving. Then Lindsay, we drove your parents up there and we saw it.
Saw it again.
And then we said, okay, we have to drive back and take a really nice picture of the sign. So we pulled over on Route 208 or whatever that is. Got a good picture, and Ryan agreed it was a good name because we had already played the gig at that point at New Blue, and we were trying to think of a good name for the band. So
interesting. Okay,
we were like, all right, that's the right vibe.
I actually wanted to talk about just like the sound and the feel a little bit of this thing, you know? Obviously I saw the show. I've heard, you know, all the tunes like in the current state of being mixed and put together and everything. I've seen the, you know, the session shots, which are really cool. How would you describe like the feel and the vibe?
Just some raw sounds, you know?
I like that.
Trying to capture as much raw sounds as possible, but keeping it in the jazz framework and also keeping it within my weird taste of harmony and rhythm. But
yeah,
trying to make it raw.
Raw,
Yeah.
I like it.
How do you hear it?
Similar, dirty,
but
polished.
I like it.
Yeah, I tried to make the recording polished.
The recording is the compositions are polished.
Yeah, you know, and that's actually a perfect segue. I wanted to ask you about the recording. You recorded it all live, right?
Here,
yeah, right
in this room.
Yeah, no overdubbing, no nonsense like that. Like four musicians getting together and doing a session.
There might have been a handful of guitar punch-ins, but it was mostly live.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to double a couple of parts, so it just sounded thicker.
Okay, interesting.
But it was played live. I just said double this an octave up or whatever. So.
Hopefully people will see the really cool video. I'll let you know. I love the sounds, right, in particular, right, like Trevor's getting... I love, like, you know, he's like, it might as well be like freaking, well, like Chick Corea's electric band or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, with like a bunch of these, all the keyboards and all like the, you know, the synth sounds, organ sounds, all that. You know what I mean? That, and then the sounds that like Ryan gets, you know, switching between like, you know, the heavier distortion, kind of like this lighter, kind of like polished distortion. Kind of like it's really cool. It's kind of like a weird, somewhat 80s, 90s kind of vibe. I don't know. It's interesting, you know. It evokes certain things in me, but like sometimes it's hard to pin down, you know.
Think back to maybe Tony Williams' Lifetime band is a same instrumentation, organ, guitar, bass, drums, and that's not the inspiration for the compositions, but the group sound, possibly.
The organ is sick, yeah.
Yeah, organ plus guitar gives it this vintage sound.
Yeah.
But the way they play it, it's not very vintage.
No.
I'd say it's vintage too, like, you know, it's 2026 now. Like to me, it's like vintage, like 90s vintage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Instead of like 70s vintage or like early 80s. You know what I mean? It's weird, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I place it, but like not intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's what's coming to mind. And I don't know what I'm even talking about. It might piss people off, actually. But like it's weird, though. No, it's like, I don't know. It just...
Piss them off, Matt.
I like hear... Whatever. One thing you said that was really cool is you said you designed some of the synth patches.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about that. And like this Blofeld like synth. I mean, maybe you could even like put up a shot of like the thing and stuff like that.
Here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because that's like the name is hilarious, Blofeld, you know, but like
Oh, you know that's from James Bond, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So sick.
Oh, I guess I'm not.
Yeah, Blofeld was one of the villains.
The guy with the
Stein.
cat, right?
Yeah, it's Blofeld.
I mean, I only know Pussy Galore, right? That's the only.
Another awesome Bond reference.
You have a synthesizer named that, but like, no, but I'm like, I like, what is the deal with making the patches? That's really cool, though. You know what I mean? That's freaking awesome.
I made them all from scratch. I own a Waldorf Blofeld. I've had it for like 12 years or more, and it's just one of the most loud, punchy, wide sounding stereo synths.
I mean, we messed around a little bit before. It has a bunch of presets, but to like build a patch in it.
Yeah, I cleared all the parameters, which there's a couple, more than a couple dozen, probably 100-something parameters.
Yeah.
And then you just start, going at it.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
You got wave tables on there. You got different shapes, and you just stack things and then spread them out in a stereo field. And
I remember fucking with it a while ago. It had a really cool, I remember I loved this one thing called like a feather filter on it that made it sound like super hard, almost like metal in a way.
Comb filter.
Comb filter, yes. Yeah, comb filter. Like I wanted to ask because I just think it's a cool process to make like producing the album, right? To make the patches and then be like, I want you to use this patch. Like that's kind of cool, actually, right? I mean,
yeah, there were 4 songs that we recorded, and I made 5 patches per song, so Trevor could pick his favorite patch. He went through each one and said, I like this one. So he,
wow. That's a really cool process.
Yeah, so he had a choice, but I also gave a lot of my input on it. And the way I made it was I just put on the MIDI track in my headphones and looped it while I was tweaking all the knobs. And once I was happy, I just hit save and moved on to the next patch. So
cool.
It took like 20 or 30 minutes per patch, but I finally, I took a lot of time dialing it in. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. You guys did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a theme with this label. It's like very handcrafted down to the patches on the Blofeld.
Yeah. Every little step.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I want to even talk a little bit about like the music itself. How would you describe the compositions, or like what went into each one? I'm curious, like, did you have charts, or I'm sure you had something, right? But I mean, how structured was each one, and like how did you structure them?
Mm-hmm. I do have scores for each one. One of them is just a form with no melodies, just improvisation. One of them was a pretty rhythmic jazz tune with complex chords, and then the other ones were sort of somewhere in between those two.
Yeah.
And we also recorded some improvisation, and I used pieces of that to fill gaps in the songs and transition between some of the songs.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I sat in there and said, all right, organ, guitar, duo, give me that for, 2 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And then I said drums and guitar, give me that for 1 minute.
So you were literally there in the other room, like the producer, like, yeah, give me some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty hands-on,
So we varied up the improvisation like that so we could stack it into the album in different places.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I wanted to ask, like, what so you we described a little bit of like what the arrangements looked like and kind of like how you drove the session. I mean, what kind of guidance did you give them when you like handed them the music? And it's just like, here's this, I want this to kind of be like that. You know what I mean? Like you could basically
Do you remember what I did? I can't remember.
I wasn't there when you gave each musician their music, but I did hear reactions from a few of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, I know Trevor, I forget what he said, but we were talking and he said something like, yeah, it's pretty much, I'll just hand me the music and I'm learning it. And I think we talked about this in another podcast, but he learned it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, the only thing you told him was, here's the music and I have patches for you, I think.
I think I gave him a little more.
Maybe a little more.
Okay. Well, that's not necessarily wrong though. That means you gave him the most basic set of instructions, the music, and then from there he filled in all the gaps, right? So you gave him like wide latitude, basically.
That was my observation of it.
That's pretty much what happened.
And Ryan was a little more like asking more questions, I think.
Yeah.
A little more involved. Probably the most involved out of all 4 of them.
Yeah. And Nick and Jason, I didn't really stress about it because they play all sorts of wild shit all the time.
Yeah.
So they just learned it and came here and played it. So
did you write like a detailed drum arrangement or
I wrote out a full MIDI score of a optional drum part. That's what I do for everything I compose, or not everything, but a lot of it. And the drummer can play as much or as little as what I write as they want.
Okay,
it's sort of like a suggestion.
Yeah, I get it. To get almost just a kind of relay the feel.
Yeah.
And once they get the feel, it's almost like a scratch track in a way. You know what I mean?
The feel and the accents. Yeah. And that's really it.
Oh, that's really okay. That's pretty interesting. Wow. what was this actual session like of recording these guys here? And you got some really cool video and stuff, and I'm going to ask you a little bit more about the video later because I think it's really cool you're doing that. But what was that like? Like getting that date and that session together?
So I guess just coordinating. It wasn't hard coordinating 4 people. I mean, we basically revolved it around Ryan.
Easier said than done when people live all over the freaking country. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, true. So it's just getting dates from everyone. That's where I jump in and do the business shit, the logistics. So the day of the recording, though, there was a random snowstorm.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're up in the foothills of the Poconos.
You got some pictures of... Yeah. So that was interesting. I mean, luckily Clackner was already here. Trevor lives about an hour away, a little over an hour. So he got here just in time before the snow got. That was like one of those 2 huge storms
Not
we
even.
had? No.
This was maybe 8 inches of snow.
Yeah. And it just kept coming down, and it wasn't really like it wasn't like a big deal. There was no warning or anything. So I'll never forget Nick and Jason are coming from Brooklyn, right? Yeah, Brooklyn, and they're like leaving, and I'm looking at the weather. I'm like, shit, it's gonna hit like right when they're getting here. Wow. And sure enough, like midway, like halfway here, I think they said it started coming down. So Clackner and I are just staring out the front window of the house, and Clackner's like, I don't think they're gonna get up your private road here. And
oh shit.
Yeah, usually our neighbor plows, the guy at the end of the road. So we're just kind of like staring like, ooh. I'm like, he'll be here. He'll get it done. And then I was like, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Sure enough, they pull in.
Well, they pulled in. They tried to get up the private road. They failed. And then they texted me and said, I'm going to go get gas while you fix the road.
Yeah.
So I got out there with a shovel, and
holy shit.
Clackner had this child-sized shovel.
Our nephew's
shovel.
His play
the only
shovel.
2 shovels we had. I bought more shovels the next day, but
never again.
That's all we had.
There was like a shovel shortage this winter. I went to freaking Lowe's, and I was like, you guys have snow shovels? And they're like, no. And it's
I
like,
had to go 3
what a
places
fucking
to buy a
sad
shovel.
comment on
Yeah.
society.
No.
Like, oh, let's get a shovel. I didn't have one. It's pathetic, right?
So I'm watching these 3 guys. Trevor, I don't even know what Trevor was using, but they were. It was just.
Trevor shoveled the top part, and then he gave the shovel to Clackner, and Clackner went down.
I'm
the
just
hill
watching them.
Did you get pictures of this shit?
shovel.
No.
That's a
I
shame.
think I have some.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
That should factor in somewhere.
I don't know. It was just one of those things. It's like, oh God, their session has to start this way. So long story short, they made it, but after the guys pushed Jason's
we had
van.
to push Jason's van up
character building. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking slide backward.
It smelled like burnt rubber on the way up.
Yeah. So everyone just was like a big team after that. But the session went pretty smooth after that. I mean, the first
How long did it run?
Gosh, it was pretty quick.
4 or 5 hours.
Oh, that's really quick.
Yeah,
Holy
all
shit.
said and done, like we ate everything.
Yeah, we took a break to eat.
Yeah.
It was about 1 hour per song.
Yeah.
Wow, that means it came together. It just came together. Yeah.
Yeah, in the first song, the first take was a little like just everyone warming up and like getting used to each other, and then after that, it was just like smooth sailing.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just a funny start. That's why we laugh.
When you hire people that are freaking awesome,
that's what happens.
They do it.
Yeah.
And then the snow had a nice touch for the pictures we took for the album outside. So it was a winter wonderland.
Yeah.
But definitely a memory.
That's awesome.
For the Bucks.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's really cool.
The first session at the house here, and had to snow.
Oh, I mean, right. It was like a yeah, you said a team building experience, like overcome some adversity together, like these lame ass like corporate things with trust falls.
Yeah, that's the
bullshit,
Birch Grove Media version of it. Go fucking shovel our driveway
and then play the piano.
And then some hardship.
I feel like we should have paid them like a bonus for shoveling.
$20. wanted to actually talk about that show. I was there. It was super cool. Just refresh remember, and you know, for everybody's information, like, so let's say when and where was it, right? Like, we just go back and revisit that show again.
Yeah, it was October at New Blue Classic.
Yeah.
October 2nd.
It was in
my dad's
October?
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. New Blue Classic.
Wow.
Smirk record release.
But I feel like everybody who went there, like just regular people, were like, "This is amazing." You know what I mean? Like everybody was impressed with everything that happened. Like just the show, the turnout. You know what I mean? The support, like the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
The vibe was like so positive. You know what I mean?
It was great.
It was a great show. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, back to
it was kind of nerve wracking because we've never done this. It was the first time we'd ever had like done everything like full. Like obviously we've played gigs before and booked our own gigs, but like, yeah. So the whole concept with the opening band was, Alan and I were talking, and we're like, we should use this opportunity as, I don't want to call it an audition, but just an experiment to see what could possibly be a group to record and what that would look like. And we knew Clackner, we wanted to basically get him in the mix. And then we just kind of built the band around that. And that's pretty much how it came to be. But he didn't write music for them. Or it was just fully improvised.
Yeah, the idea was, what do these guys sound like?
Yeah, what do they sound
and
like
if
together?
I like what they sound like, I'll write some music for them.
Yeah, basically that.
And they sounded great, so I wrote some music for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of the idea was also getting a band that
pretty quickly
didn't exist.
Yes.
So the three of them had never played together before.
Yeah.
Nick and Jason.
Okay, see, some of us actually didn't know.
Nick and Clackner had played before.
Well, Nick and Jason played together pretty, pretty. I wouldn't say regularly, but they play together sometimes. And then after I put this band together,
that's right,
Clackner looked up who Nick was and said, "Oh, I'm going to hire him for this other gig." So they did play together there, but this was not a band. You know, this was not a trio anywhere. And then adding Trevor was just another piece of
and I was even going to say, I mean, we kind of touched on it, but you know, the little bit of the backstory of adding Trevor. You know what I mean? Since then, I think we've kind of maybe touched on that, of like, you know, their live presence was awesome, and you just thought you heard a little more space you wanted to fill, or you just thought or thought like a keyboardist or Trevor in particular was a good fit.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a good fit. The reasoning was the compositions I started writing were, I don't want to call them too dense for one player, but I had the guitar doing the melodies, the harmony, the solos. And then I realized once I talked with Ryan that we should split that between two people. So
it was a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot for one musician to handle. And plus, I think it sounds better as a balanced keyboard and guitar.
Anyway, I mean, I didn't even hear, like, I never heard the original concepts, stuff with your work on, but I mean, all I can say is I think it sounds awesome now. You've had a role in so much of this stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, hearing you talk about that show and all that, I didn't even know, like, you know, how much you're involved in that, even looking over some of these arrangements, stuff like that. I mean, that's super cool. Essentially, you're kind of holding the role of like executive producer, right?
Yeah.
And doing that on like indefinitely on a bunch of these things that are coming out. You know what I mean? Maybe the album, or excuse me, the label itself. I'm interested to hear, you know, if not for the like overall label, just some of the things you've been doing, like you just discussed for this particular album, you know, Unobtainium, Bearskinner, right? Like what are some of the things that you've influenced or that you're driving on this? It's interesting.
So for Bearskinner, I made sure everyone got paid.
Yeah.
And I got pizza. Those are my no. I mean, I did do that.
You did more than that.
I did more than that. No.
That's part of being a producer, actually.
It's funny.
Keep the fucking talent happy. You know?
Yeah, like when Alan was like, "Yeah, you're an executive producer," I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, I have to look this up.
Well, it's a good question.
You were already doing that. I was already when I suggested it.
Yeah, I was already doing it, and obviously, it's just the two of us. We're a pretty small label, so stuff kind of bleeds together. But the overall concepts,
the tasks are real.
I'll do the 30,000 foot view of the whole album, and then this album in particular, I guess. But Yeah. So big view, how I look at it for the whole label is he is obviously the creative. Not that I'm not creative, but you know, like he just said, he wrote music in December. Yeah. And then they recorded it. Like he's freaking ridiculous. Yeah. Like, so I kind of look at my job is to enable that and do the business, more of the business stuff to make the boring business shit to make it go smooth as possible. But anytime there's like creative discussion or like, hey, should we do this or do that? Like he bounces the ideas off of me. For example, like it was like for 2 seconds, he was like, oh, maybe I'll play on this like one track or something on Bearskinner. And I think at that point I jumped in and I'm like, no, do not play on it. Not that I don't think we would sound good or anything, but like you need to step back and like, you've never done this before and just produce it and compose and focus on that.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
like the results are real. You know what I mean? It's I don't want to be like, oh, I'm a business badass bitch, boss bitch. That's not me at all. But with business stuff, I tend to do pretty good at and just organizing and managing people. And knowing how to, you know, massage like
I'm massaging all the musicians.
She's a masseuse.
That's what I do at this label. So more of the business end stuff,
really
but in this Bearskinner in real life, like that's big picture stuff. But on this album, like I was literally in this room taking video and stuff while Alan was concentrating on like the actual production and you know, like this like power went, like some power strip or something went out and I like jumped in and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I tried to figure it out.
I think you made it go out because you brought a spacer heater.
Yeah. So I just fuck shit up and then try to fix it. That's what I do. And just watch people shovel, go get pizza.
You got the legal stuff together.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's I mean, we have contracts with our musicians. We pay them. And it's just kind of like,
cool.
I felt kind of weird about, I don't know if I can't speak for Alan. And I don't even know if I talked about this, but at first I was like, I feel weird making people sign contracts, but I was like, when I step back,
cool.
I'm like,
when I say cool is reference to that, not like we paid people. I'm like, cool. Yeah. It was just like,
and like, you know, what they should be paid, you know, they, you know,
no, that's awesome.
Yeah. And just legal contract stuff. Like I don't want Alan to have to like worry about that shit and asking them to sign it when he's just trying to like get them ready to record and stuff. Like someone else should be handling all that not that stupid, but just business dry stuff. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we are taking the label very seriously and, you know, God forbids something happened. Not that it would, but you know, if some shit hits the fan, like we legally have all our bases covered, basically. And I'm just trying to implement business procedures, if you will, like that, like right out of the gate, like when we're just starting out, just so it's standard and we don't even have to think about it anymore. It's just like, you know, in the business world, an SOP, a standard operating procedure, which we now have for, you know, every time we make an album, we just add to that like stuff we've learned and just to make everything go smoother next time. So
I mean,
I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you absolutely did. And like, it's actually really interesting to hear like how you guys have kind of delineated those roles, because those are really important things that have to be done, or else like you really can't say you're
and we're not perfect at it either. Like, you know, he calls me out on my shit all the time. Like, hey, you're the executive producer. You should probably be, you know, like cracking the whip on this, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but you also do some creative decision making also. Like you help me decide who to get on keyboards, and you help me decide if we needed a fourth person.
Yeah.
And that's a creative decision. So
yeah, and
it bleeds over.
And then sometimes, you know, personnel wise, when you're working, just in general, like when you're in it, you know, and you're working with musicians like he is,
right?
And you know,
it's like a vibe kill to like suddenly you have to start talking numbers and other shit like that.
Not only that, but also like stuff happens. Like, I don't want to say arguments, but just like discussions happen, and like you need someone else to weigh in on it artistically too. So I feel comfortable jumping in on that stuff.
Yeah. Second set of ears and eyes.
Yeah. It's like, you know, that is reasonable, or no, you can't expect that of someone. What are you know? Yeah.
Or the track I was editing, I brought you in the studio and said, does this sound okay to you? You know, it went in this direction in the studio, but I was trying to go this way. What is your input on this?
Oh, yeah, that too. That too.
So you are making musical decisions.
And I did help you with the bass patches.
Yeah.
Because I was like, ooh, use this one.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a real, like, executive producer to me. You know, that's like, right? I think of any kind of, like, sometimes it's hard to quantify these things because you think in the, like, context of jazz.
Right.
You know, like, if it were some big, stupid, like, you know, mainstream album of whatever shit genre, suddenly it becomes, you know what I mean? Like, who's the executive producer of this? Like, oh, it's fucking, you know what I mean? And there's like some just guy kind of hanging out in the background while another guy's working the board, another guy's doing this, and you know what I mean? Guys on the phone, hey, we're doing blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it suddenly makes more sense, you know? And it sounds like you're doing all those roles, you know what I mean? Or, hey, come in here, what do you think about this? Maybe make the executive decision. You know what I mean? What's the inspiration and the drive behind the videoing stuff, capturing stuff? Like, I mean, I saw that we have the show. You had a videographer there. Mm-hmm. You did the session here. There's some really cool shots of that, you know? And even little kind of color things like taking pictures outside in the middle of that snowstorm, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, who, like, right? I mean, like, what made you make a point to spend the time, the effort, the money? Because it's a distraction. Like, you want to record, you want to be taking a moment to go set up cameras and do bullshit. It's annoying. You know what I mean? It's an extra
annoying,
task.
but it's also annoying to not have it after the fact if you wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's, I want to hear like, you know, why you've made a point to that, because I think it's amazing. And I really hope like you make it a serious part of the whole label, you know?
Yeah. My idea is capture as much as you can and decide what's good later. Mm-hmm. And then if there's something in there that's worth, even if it's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's gold. So
part of our prep for this recording session was making a list of outcomes and assets we wanted for the label from this recording session, from this day. So Clackner, for example, and that encompasses everything. Obviously the music, that comes first. And there was so much we wanted to do that day that we didn't, because I was like, Alan, we got to have the music come first. But we're really, our intention is not only to showcase his writing and what he's doing, but also, I mean, this is fucking ridiculous musicians, right? And they deserve their showcase. They deserve to be heard, not just musically, but their opinions too, which is where the podcast comes in. Person like Trevor Lagrange, like, no one knows who he is. Like,
And that's not an insult to Trevor.
And that's not an insult. That's
Yeah.
not exactly. He should be
known.
known.
I'm sure that's due to change, you know.
He should be
coming.
known. Yeah, it's coming. He should be known. And yeah, he deserves to be showcased. His brain picked on a podcast. Background B-roll of him just bugging out. I'm just using him as an example because he's lesser known. But yeah, we had assets like, we need this for the website. We need headshots. We don't have headshots of this person. We need album shots. Let's go take it out in the snow. Like, it's beautiful out.
We need to record a podcast with Ryan.
We
while he's in New
recorded a
Jersey.
podcast with Ryan while he's in New Jersey. I'm a real big fan of, I don't know if you're familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk. He's his whole thing for years was just document everything. Like every it's more influencer bullshit, but it's still artist related.
Yeah.
So it's like
my thing is though, like, I don't see any shame or cringeworthy aspect in it at all. I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's super cool. Like, because like I said, going from putting like the audience, listener, fan hat on, you really want to see these things. It's not like fake shit, fake influencer bullshit content being rammed down your fucking throat. You know what I mean? It's like you see. It's super cool to see these moments of just like people in the middle of the creative process.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, I remember when I was younger, like, all those Blue Note recordings when they reissued it and they had the alternate tracks and you hear like Coltrane or like whoever like talking.
Oh, here's this lame coffee table book with like some photos of Coltrane that like weren't on the back of an album cover or something.
Yeah, or just hearing his voice. Like,
oh my God.
Like, okay, let's do that. Like whatever it was, I was like, holy shit, that's what he sounded like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and imagine if they could just have a video
so you're
going.
saying you're John Coltrane.
I'm saying I'm John Coltrane. Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
That's the title of this podcast. Yeah. Okay. No, I just think that that's something missing from musicians that we can take a note. And I say we because I'll throw myself in there, like as a label manager. It's like we need to, like, if you don't put yourself out there and like promote yourself and what you're doing and document it, like no one else is going to give a shit.
Yeah.
So it starts with you giving a shit. And as a label, we got to support the musicians. So like, why would we not feature them, you know? So.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really cool. I hope it continues. And I hope it becomes more and more of like a central part of the label, you know?
Yeah. To bounce off of one thing you said as a listener, I like to see all the behind the scenes stuff. And I think that's one thing about all three of us right here.
Yeah.
Is that some musicians, maybe they're not biggest music fans, but there's music fans, there's musicians. I think all three of us are both, which is different than a lot of people. Some people don't get obsessive about listening, but they love to play, or vice versa. Some people don't play anything and just like to listen. I think all three of us do both of those things, which is kind of strange, but unique.
I don't think it's strange.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have a lot of very close friends that are musicians, and maybe half of them get this obsessed with listening as the three of us do, but
I just
don't
like to have a whole scene, to like know the scene. Like, it's kind of like inspiring to actually like, like I was looking at like videos of, like I was showing to you, like people of like some stupid 60 minutes, like a 60 minutes like segment from the 70s about like disco.
Producing disco.
Dan Rather talking like, oh,
it was
this
amazing.
is really cool. But it was so cool.
Oh, it was absolutely amazing.
It's like, yeah, turn up that fader there. Let's get some more bass
the
drum.
guy's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
like,
He's like,
mixing
yeah, that's
and-
it. Yeah. Cool old tape machines, and the guy's like super quick.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
so
yeah,
good.
and I was like, this is cool.
I
you know
want
what
to
mean?
see this.
Yeah,
Talk
it was
about
really good.
nerding
What is
out.
this? Disco music? That's
Yeah, they're
becoming
saying
popular
like
now.
disco, like
Disco.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I just those moments are just fucking cool. You know, it's like they're inspirational. You know what I mean? And like, it's not like they've stopped. It's just like, okay, we're not talking about fucking disco in like the 1970s. We're talking about this now. You know what I mean? This is reality now in the year 2026. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's just recap things. Like, so Bear Skinner, right? Your group, you produced it. It's on your label. You guys are running the label. First album, Unobtainium, cool name. When do you expect this to be out?
We're aiming for the second half of 2026.
So like later this year.
Yeah, we just learned that the person that was going to press our album is shutting down their company. So second half of 2026 is still the goal.
It's all part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to maneuver your way through all this stuff. And as for right now, if people want to go and look at some of these things that like we're sort of talking about, like these cool little videos, and like you have some stuff that you've been sharing, like where's a good place to check that stuff out?
First off, on Instagram, you can find us at Birch Grove Media. I think it's birch.grove.media. You'll see clips from our podcast, clips from live shows. We do musician features on there, like little write-ups. And you can go to our website, which is birchgrove.io. You can purchase our first album, which is Not Your Grandfather's Jazz by Smirk there. And you can also, what else can they do right now?
Podcast is there.
The podcast is there.
I think you had some of these cool little like snips and clips and stuff.
Yeah.
So the snips and clips are on Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And all of our episodes are up on YouTube, Birch Grove Media. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Go buy a record. If you enjoyed this podcast, please visit birchgrove.io. It's the home base for our record label, Birch Grove Media. You can buy a vinyl record or a digital album and sign up for our newsletter where you'll receive notifications about future events and releases. Also visit podfuelmedia.com. I'm one of the owners of this company, and if you like how this podcast was produced, we do that for our clients: audio, video edits, syndication, consulting, and startup for a new podcast. So book a call with us and we'll get your podcast going right away. You can also go to buymeacoffee.com/Birch Grove Media and leave us a tip if you'd like. Thank you very much.